close. If you have never been to Bangalore, I pray that God preserves your life. Because when they came to meet us in London, they said Bangalore was a city in India, that they had a lot of youths. What can they do with them? We taught them basic mathematics and programming skills. Do you know that today, Microsoft has the single largest production plant in Bangalore, India? Sun Microsystem has it. If you follow me on my website, follow me on Twitter, you'll see some of the things I've tweeted about this. I'm not just saying it because I want to make a speech to encourage you. No, no, no. I don't want to inspire you. No. You need to know these basic facts, and we need to know it as a people, so that when we deploy our energies, the world will know that we have arrived. Because we've done it in too many areas. So the population of the youth in this area is what will make me say that the educational system, right from the first day they enter school until they graduate, has to give them something different from what I got and from what to make them know I have self-worth, I have creativity. So if it's not there, I make it happen. Not make excuses. Because anybody can make excuses. But we have made up in our mind. Now when the leg is injured, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop playing. They bandage it and link back to the field to play. Interface of technological understanding. If one of them is devoid, then you find that you are limping on one leg, and the idea of success becomes a lot of factors. And maybe not, maybe not. But if you consistently add these two together, when you exploit technology, not use technology. No, Nigerians don't use technology. It's an insult for you to say Nigeria uses technology. Let me explain to you what I mean that Nigeria doesn't use technology. A 14-year-old that dropped out of school because the parents could not pay, became a mechanic and learned how to fix cars. He never went to university. He changed the engine of a Mercedes and put a Datsun engine there. And the Mercedes drove faster and longer years than the original Mercedes engine. Nigeria had to send professors of engineering to come and understudy somebody that has not completed secondary education on how he is able to use and then exploit technology. And that's essentially what I'm saying. And that character is not unique to that mechanic. That character is in every child that we have given birth to. We have not been able to explore that genius in that child. And therefore we blame X, Y, and Z. But once we know it's already there, it's like my grandmother said, I put it inside the fridge. But I said, Mom, I can't find it inside the fridge. He said, but it's the genius in every child that we have. We are looking for it in the wrong place. If we find it in the right place, can we just advance? Things that you are from Niger Delta, you don't know what you are talking about, let them understand this. God that put the oil under the water, first of all, put cells in our brain. And those cells in our brain are able to generate more. That's a 6-year-old that wrote a book that is being used by undergraduate studies, before undergraduate studies. I'll give you, like I keep saying, I'll give you the slide, follow me on Twitter, I'll make it. So whatever we celebrate, when we celebrate genius in our children, you know what happens? It replicates all the time. If we suppress genius, do you know what will happen? We'll lose it. It's not because it was not put there, but because we didn't have the mechanism to be able to nurture it or to celebrate it. Can you advance a few more? Because I'll give you that's another second BBC interview. Just advance. Let me explain to you. Because if you came to Edo State and you wanted to be president, we'll say you are not from this state. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? But this is a Nigerian girl helping out the Germans fix their economic problem. And yet you are trying to tell me we are underdeveloped, or we are under-resourced, or we are a monoculture economy. We are not a monoculture economy. We are more than oil. Because God has given us a bigger oil. Oh, that Ban Ki-moon had to compromise to get some Nigerians back to his committee. That the entire NASA code, the code that NASA uses to send men to Mars and bring them back. Do you know who worked it out? That it takes 500 days to move from here to Mars? If I gave him his name, you know it's your cousin. You know it's your cousin. Because Japanese, they don't bear Kelechi. They don't bear Kelechi. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And there are more Kelechis in that village that Kelechi came from. And that is Omotola, apparently. I want you to write it down, sirs, and find out when anybody not go to you don't have secondary education, is being used as a poster girl by one of the best, arguably best university in the world. What happened to all the other countries that has so much resources, high waters? We are still on the road and we are going. Michelle Obama knows her. They've consulted her. So she, a teenage girl, Nigeria, advising the best economists in the world. You can get on the CNN website. You can get on the BBC website. So what I'm telling you today are not my private stories. They are stories of your children and my grandchildren. There are things that I go to bed dreaming of, things that I wake up knowing will happen, but I don't know the date for it. That's the only question I'm not sure about. Sport. We haven't been able to provide all the necessary factors that can be identified and pushed on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know that the Norwegians successfully transferred or migrated from oil production to a lot of minor industries. I know that the certain guaranteed path for our children today is for them to be able to build the app that they love and they like working on, and be able to sell it like the last thing I'm going to show. You can advance a little bit. Okay, that's called. Now that is Chimemela. Does anybody know a German called Chimemela? Do Germans bear the name Chimemela? You are sure? Now the world record holder for German speaking today is Chimemela Kambala. She's consulted for IBM. UPS bought her and took her to Wall Street. Do you understand why I'm so excited? Do you understand that? More achieve more than me? Do you understand that? Do you understand whatever I have been able to achieve, if I cannot replicate it in my children, I have failed? When there is a David, there has to be a Solomon. And the Solomon has to be bigger than David in every facet of life. And that's what I will not retire from. Youth capital development is irreplaceable. Youth capital development is indestructible. Youth capital development is what's going to define Nigeria. That young man there on the slide, the 17-year-old, we worked with him. He wrote an app, one app, ladies and gentlemen. A 17-year-old. When I was 17, I used to ask my parents money for pocket money. At 17, the app sold for $30 million. One app. One app. If you follow me on Twitter, you have seen our Twitter about it. I will tweet it about it today. So you call it. It empowers the creativity in you. The mobile money transfer in Nigeria is 14 times that of the United Kingdom. I want to say that slowly. The way Nigeria has used their mobile phones to spend money from themselves to their bank and to other agencies is 14 times that of the UK. It's setting up a center of excellence within the NDDC area where all our strength are therefore aggregated in such a way that is deployed, that will become global leaders. Not just leaders in saying, they say it's a kidnapping, king lapping palace of the world. That's what the BA man was telling me. You're going to call our court? It's a kidnapping palace of the world. I looked at him and said, where do you think my parents are from? Where do you think my grandparents are from? Do you know, would you understand what I'm saying? That's the brand you get it. It is the intellectual capital of the world. Said to him. Because he's writing the second app. And he come up with another version. How are you going to convince him that there's wealth in oil? When he has seen that using simple mathematical logic, he can write a new software that will make Niger Delta, if they are shown the fundamentals of it, will exploit it and explode it and will define the world as we know it. I salute you for your attention and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Currently serves as the chairwoman of the Interstate Corporation. She's also a member of the Education and Youth, Special Judiciary, and Economic Development and Committees. She has worked to bring progressive change in the area of crime reduction, a safe and clean environment, stronger drug driving laws and drug trafficking laws, economic development. So James, give us a good news.
And honorable elected officials, your majesties, barristers, and other diplomats, I think protocol has already been established, so please allow me to stand on that protocol. So, distinguished leaders of Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, I've known few greater honors than the opportunity to address this esteemed gathering. My presence here today is a confirmation of the value of building effective leadership and relationships among responsible leaders, especially here in the Niger Delta Development Commission. So thank you, Barrister Dan Abia, for inviting me today. He's doing a wonderful job here. Outstanding. Thank you. Now, civilization has come a long way with determination and the audacity to progress, regardless of the prejudices, the racism, and other differences. We strive to make the world a better place for human individuals that I serve. Throughout my tenure of service, I worked with my colleagues to create and pass numerous pieces of legislation that deal with important issues that directly affect all of us. I've had the opportunity to actually host many of the delegations that are represented here today in the state capitol in Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to do everything I can to roll out the red carpet for Nigeria when you come to America, especially to the state of Georgia. You know, we've been left out much too long, and it's time that we develop close relationships and working relationships. When I see the people from China and Japan and other European countries come to the Capitol, at one time, they were taking them around and it was just a frenzy of people rushing around. But when I saw people that looked like me that may have been from the Caribbean islands or Africa, dedication as a legislator has been to children, our future. Those children that, I think it was John F. Kennedy said that despite the fact that and immigration is an issue that's facing us. We have what some think are our, I guess, presidential candidates who look at immigration and they have made us the jokesters of the world because we have a big statue of liberty that says, give me your tired, your poor, your hurtled masses to be free, to welcome people. But instead of they are trying to stop immigration, and anyone with a name that sounds different than theirs, they want to stop them from coming into the United States. Don't worry, too many other legislators know better, and we're working together to make sure that that does not happen. Because I think it's one of our great legislators who happens to be a congressman from Georgia, John Lewis, that says, what are they talking about? We all came here on boats, but we're in the same boat now. This is the United States of America and we welcome all. So we're going to continue to work on that. So know that Georgia is a very diverse state, but we have natural resources, we have economic opportunities. The state capital of Atlanta is not only home to the world's busiest airport, but we have the 4th largest port, and that is in Savannah, Georgia. And right now, they're opening up the Panama Canal, and they're dredging the port in Savannah. And when they do that, it's going to be a very short distance from the coast of Nigeria to Savannah, Georgia. So that means that we will improve, hopefully, imports and exports and cut the cost maybe even by 1/3. So that's a win-win situation for Nigeria, for all of you who are doing any business outside of Nigeria who want to come to the United States and do business. Don't go to Texas, come to Georgia, okay? I know I have been invited to many of Nigeria's events, but I have to go all the way to Houston or Dallas, Texas, and I want to come, or of course New York, but I want to make sure that you know that we want to form partnerships with you. And like many other young nations, Nigeria is realizing its true potential. It's becoming an important entity in the global economy. And this important forum for Nigeria can really strengthen you and make it even better. So enjoy this conference and make sure you understand the powers in your hands. You have the opportunity to continue to move Nigeria forward. So it's my hope that we can develop international partnerships with support of the emergence of Nigeria's private sector, promote direct foreign investment in Africa, and leverage the imbalances in Africa's growing economy. There are many encouraging signs. We've seen investments that strive to eradicate poverty, investment opportunities that change the political and economic image of Africa, access to the $1 billion fund the U.S. government has committed to trade capacity building activities. Oh yes, and you can hear all these negative things about our president, but our commander-in-chief, who actually has roots right here in Africa, in the motherland, Barack Obama, is making a lot of things happen that you might not hear a whole lot about. He's trying to reach out to Africa and make sure that there is money available to do business with states like Georgia and all over the United States. So make sure you know that our president is not that bad guy. He's going to go down in history, I'm sure, as one of the best presidents the United States of America has ever had. We have networking and subcontracting opportunities in Georgia, and we have even some tax incentives for things other than just the film industry in Nollywood. But they're coming there too. They're actually going to have an event there. So we are just, again, opening up our hearts to Nigeria. I've done it for many, many years. I think my roots are here. My sister did our DNA and our background. So I am a Nigerian, all right? So come to Atlanta, the home of many Fortune 500 companies and multinational corporations like Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, Home Depot, and CNN. But you know, I don't say a lot about CNN. I just say shame on CNN. Even when I cut on TV this morning, I saw them talking about Africa and showing the zebras running and the elephants and some lady talking, and I said, no wonder people told me when I got ready to leave to come here, oh, be careful, don't let the animals devour you. Do people really swing on vines? This is the ignorance that they have spread. So you have good journalists in Nigeria, and I want to encourage you, all of the journalists, to make sure that the world knows that Nigeria is a progressive place. I went to Abuja and it was like New York. I was like, okay, I'm in little New York. So we are moving forward, continue to do all of the things that we can do, because I realized after numerous visits here to your home country that I always left with a greater understanding. So we want to increase tourism here, and they need to come here to your great state. You know, I have been saying I wanted to come for a long time, and I tell you, I am so happy to be here because it's so wonderful right here. I have a real kinship. Okay. So again, as I take my seat, I'd like to congratulate Barrister Dan Abia for this one, and all of the stakeholders and distinguished leaders here. And I wish you the best of luck as you embark on your new PSD, the Partners for Sustainable Development. And if I can ever help you or be of service in any way, don't hesitate to contact me. So again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I am so gracious to be here and happy to be here. So don't forget, Atlanta, Georgia is open for business, and we want to do business with you. Thank you.
It won't be a goodwill message. Let me invite Chief Mr. Jasper Jumbo, or Professor Jumbo. Your Excellencies, distinguished representatives from the National Assembly, our respected visitor from the United States, our royal fathers, my fellow workers, representatives of the oil and gas industry, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I listened carefully to the Managing Director of NDDC talk about the achievements and the needs of our people. I am here to represent both my humble self and those of us who championed the crusade for the establishment of both UMPADEC and NDDC. I know the blueprint. I'd like to put it on record that Daniel and his executive team, they have the solidarity of those of us who are the founding fathers of this commission. They have the solidarity because they've been able to synergize and build harmony amongst themselves. This is perhaps the one board that didn't go all the way fighting about money and fighting about self. We're thinking about how to develop our people. So I say congratulations. Most of you know me, I speak my mind, and I'm speaking for our people. When I listened to him, good evening, the representative of His Excellency, the Vice President is here, and I'd like you to carry this message both to His Excellency, Mr. President, and also to the Vice President from Niger Delta people. I'm talking as a federal development protagonist in the Niger Delta. One, when we set up the NDDC, we'll have some systems. Empowerment, patriotic development. The federal government has shortchanged the Niger Delta people by not providing adequate finance as at when due for NDDC to perform what is needful for our people. Today, most Niger Delta contractors are working for the banks, and it is unacceptable, and it must stop. It must stop. I'm speaking for Niger Deltas. It cannot be working and working for the banks. NDDC was set up to be funded. I remember when we were talking about the funding provision when God measures. So let's let a kilo, let a friend Bruno, Scotty, when we were looking at the blueprint. We looked at a situation where funds will be made available by the state government and the federal government and the oil companies. That's the funding provision of the NDDC Act. Today, most agencies, I haven't mentioned the LNG, they should please do the needful. NDDC is being owed, the federal government should pay them. Is that not your wish? Having said that, the NDDC should discuss with the banks. Let them find a system of giving soft loans to the contractors. Let them find a system of giving soft loans to the contractors. When I was in charge of the United States Rights Council for Nigeria, there was a program known as PPP, Trade Development Program. It was a program set up by the United States for the less privileged. And by that, it was supposed to be tax-free. NDDC projects are supposed to be tax-free. Federal government should make NDDC projects tax-free as part of the partnership, the paradigm shift. And our sister from the United States, we want to see you use your good offices to attract corresponding development finance from multilateral development agencies and funding institutions to assist the only recognized, government agency that is co-defined to existing traditional units, which is the NDDC. And so find funds for them to help us with the development of our people. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let me also crave your indulgence to invite another goodwill, just 1 minute goodwill. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite to the podium His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, Owole Rogers and Ayokorocha OON, every representative by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, please, to please give his own message.
Thank you. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osobanje, SAN, GCON, heavily represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff. The Managing Director of NDDC, Sebastian Abia, the Chairman Senate Committee on Niger Delta, the House Committee Chairman on Niger Delta, the Secretary to the Government of Delta State Government, our sister, the distinguished senator from the state of Georgia. It's important for you to know that there are a lot of Texans in the house. Like we always say don't mess with Texans. Georgia is still behind Texas. Thank you. The distinguished resource persons, our foreign partners here present, all the executive members and staff of NDDC here present, our royal fathers, led by Prof, my own Royal Highness, organizers of this program, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here today representing my governor, your governor, my people, my people. I want to express my happiness for being invited to be with you on this very important occasion when you are meeting with partners to foster a way of ensuring rapid and even sustainable development in Niger Delta region. You will recall that at another forum in Asaba a few weeks ago, I had categorically decried the minimal project of NDDC activity in Imo State. Our status as an oil-producing state carries with it added burden since all the catchment areas are expectant of huge government activities in the area. These expected activities can only be properly galvanized through a well-coordinated program of activities deliberately planned and implemented through the instrumentality of the Commission management. I'm excited that the theme of the PSD forum this time is captured re-strategizing development concept in the Niger Delta region to provide for post-oil wealth socio-economic sustainability. This theme is apt because of oil, while seen as a source of wealth for the entire Nigerian nation, is having some negative consequences for its host communities. Those communities, if not properly prepared, may be traumatized in the post-oil era, and this may result in a blame game against the government. This is therefore the time for all stakeholders to give a thought to galvanizing the benefit of this time as a means of providing a cushion effect in the future. You are well aware, that the present government in Imo State is poised towards ensuring a spread of dividends of democracy. The rescue mission is deliberately pursued a program of balanced spread of amenities to all parts of the state, notwithstanding the limited resources available. It is pertinent that NDDC must, as a matter of urgent priority, support the effort of the government by avoiding us the benefits of the activities. You can be rest assured that whatever effort you have made in this direction will be greatly magnified through the activities of our administration. My point is that Imo is appealing for your esteemed greater presence in Imo State. We are desirous of this greater presence. We will, on our own part, do everything to magnify your effort. I wish you a fruitful discussion and God guidance. Thank you and God bless you.
The representative of the Vice President and the Deputy Chief of Staff, distinguished senators here present, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, the representative of my governor, the Secretary to the government, our distinguished, intelligent, endowed keynote addresser, professor from the very best university, the Oxford University. I acknowledge your presence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you watched a few minutes ago, there was a long argument here because I didn't know we were going to speak. If you look at the program, there's no space for us to speak. But because we are partners in the development of this region, that is why I am speaking for the legislature. I bring you greetings from our beloved Chairman of the National Assembly and the President of the Senate, the irremovable Senator Bukola Saraki, and also from our beloved Speaker, Honorable Dogara. Why we came in here is because we believe that we have part to play in the development of this region, and we will give the necessary legislative framework for the development of this region. So we want to assure you, the members of this commission and our brothers, that we will do all that is needful for this region to develop as far as our own functions as legislators are concerned. You will be rest assured of that. Currently, we are looking at the law, the enabling laws, and I can assure you, and I want to appeal to all of you, that any contribution you have towards making this commission and making Niger Delta a better place for all of us. As far as the legal framework is concerned, we invite you to bring your suggestions towards amending the law if necessary, or doing other things that you think you can do for us to improve this region. Let me also, on behalf of the legislature, and of course our good people who are in the National Assembly, appeal to all the stakeholders, especially the oil company. I do not intend to roll out the figures we have right now, because we have a very staggering figure of their indebtedness to this commission. We want to appeal to you that these people, you cannot stay in a man's land and say, who is that man? You need to. It's a legal requirement. It is not what you want to do, what you like to do. It is not what you like to do. It is what you must do. Because I don't see an oil company operating in America or operating in Britain and refuse to pay their dues. They will not allow you to operate there. So it's a legal requirement. It is lawful, and it is unlawful for you not to pay your dues and your contribution. You see the two words are used. It is lawful for you to pay your dues. It is unlawful for you not to pay your dues. So I want to appeal to all the stakeholders, and also the federal government. I'm happy that the representative of the Vice President is here. So please our government to also help to form this commission. If the speaker from the one of the people who drafted this thing, you can hear what he's saying. The man is almost weeping. He's almost weeping in his speech. You can see from him that he's not a happy man. And what he's saying represents the feeling and aspiration of our people from this region. So I want to thank you very much, sir, for this beautiful speech you have made. It's unfortunate that this is not a place for that. We need a better place for you to come and say. And I can invite you, let me take this medium to invite you to come and address the Senate Committee on the Niger Delta. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Peter Amobushi. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, Professor of Nigeria, Grand Commander of the Niger, ably represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Ade, please address this guy. Let's put our hands together, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, let me start by thanking the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC for the invitation to His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. I also want to express my delight at the presence here of very eminent stakeholders of this great region. The chairman of the Senate Committee on the Niger Delta, the House Committee, representatives of their excellencies, the governors in the region, especially the Deputy Governor of Imo State, who spoke earlier. I also want to thank and welcome distinguished Senator Gonzalo James from Georgia in the United States of America.
She has, I think, managed to advocate not just for the state of Georgia, but also for the nation of Nigeria. And we thank you very much for your thoughts and your fellowship and your commitment to Nigerian development. I must also mention, although there have been various very brilliant speakers before me, Professor Imafidon, I think we have repeatedly congratulated him for the very rousing speech that he just made. I'm mentioning it because the speech draws us back to our essence as a people, and it addresses the theme of this gathering, the fact that our wealth, truly our wealth, is not in oil or in gas or in any material thing, but it is in us as individuals. And especially I like the appeal to the youths who are so ably represented here. And I'm happy that their Royal Highnesses, the representatives of the Association of Traditional Rulers of Oil Producing Committees are also fully represented here. So this is exactly the ideal platform for the kind of development, sustainable development that we want to partner to build. I salute the representatives of the oil companies and other industries that are active in this region. And I thank you for making our time to contribute to the development, to ideas that will keep up the development of this region well into the future, no matter what happens to oil or the price of oil. His Excellency, the Vice President, when he got this invitation, invited me to ensure that we kept it in mind, because he was so keen on being here by himself, addressing issues of sustainable development in the Niger Delta, and also taking the opportunity to meet a cross-section of important and strategic stakeholders in the region. But as you know, a lot has happened between the time we got the invitation and today. And as you can imagine, a lot of activities are going on in Abuja at the moment. Very important strategic activities that I am sure everyone here expects, because we are all expectant to see what this government has for us. So it is with regret that he asked me to represent him here and to give his regards and to express his hope that in the very near future he will have another opportunity to be here to interact with the people of the Niger Delta. So it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you the speech of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. I now read his speech. I'm delighted to be here today among brothers, sisters, and citizens of this great region of our dear country, the Niger Delta. I thank the management of the Niger Delta Development Commission for its resourcefulness in convening the all strategic stakeholders of the region to deliberate on a future underpinned by sustainable development. from the most influential actors in our governance structure to the last member of the community, we must all raise up now to the challenge of developing and protecting our people, our environment, and our infrastructure, not just for today, but for generations unborn. This rethinking process is even more compelling at this time, as international oil prices take a very significant turn for the worse. For President Muhammadu Buhari and this administration, governance is backed within the context of ideas and ideals, a platform that values and protects people. In that context, doing and promoting what is right is not just morally appropriate. It remains the only practicable and sustainable way for developing a diverse nation such as ours. Furthermore, governance is about finding practical solutions to real-world problems, grasping the opportunities to secure our nation's future. As such, I believe that all efforts and resources of government must only seek to organize and harness the nation's assets for the welfare of its citizens. It is our business to creatively build an inclusive existence for the majority of our citizens in the Niger Delta and around the country, many of whom had been excluded and neglected for far too long. The task is daunting but achievable. For the Niger Delta, many have observed that the riches in hydrocarbon may not have translated to a prosperous existence for the majority of the people. The task for us now is to stop that trend and strengthen institutions and processes that will fix the problem. We must change the recurrent narrative of a lack of economic opportunities and its associated restiveness of our young ones in the Niger Delta. Rather, we must address the disturbing levels of environmental degradation and incorporate the realities of climate change and our planned agricultural and industrial renewal as effective components of the ultimate solution. In the spirit of sustainable development, we must tackle headlong the issues of socio-economic justice by opening new economic frontiers for our people beyond resource extraction. This is the time for fresh and creative thinking. Our people are our biggest assets, and our citizens in the Niger Delta and other parts of Nigeria must be restored